Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place that takes a whole stack of information, sorts through it, and pulls out the key insights just for you.
That's right. And today, we're getting into something really fascinating, an ancient text.
Yes, specifically some really compelling parts focusing on a pretty dramatic family story. We're talking Jacob, Rachel, and Leah.
And it all kicks off around this ancient well, way out in Haran.
Our mission today to really explore this story, dig into the love, the deception, the, complex family stuff from way back when.
We think you'll find some surprising things, maybe some stuff that feels, well, surprisingly relevant even now.
Definitely. It's not just history. It's about human nature, desire, problems that still resonate.
Exactly. These are fundamental dilemmas.
Okay, let's dive in then. So the story starts with Jacob. He's on a journey, arrives in what the text calls the land of the people of the East.
And the first thing he sees, a well out in the field.
Right, a well, 3 flocks of sheep hanging around waiting.
Yeah.
And there's this detail about a great stone covering the well.
Yeah, that's important. It wasn't something one person could just move easily.
The text says all the flocks had to gather before they could roll it away. It was a group effort, a communal thing.
Which makes what Jacob does next even more striking. But first, he interacts with the shepherds there.
He does. Walks right up, asks them where they're from, and then pretty directly asks if they know Laban, his mother's brother.
And they do. They say, yeah, we know him. And actually, look, here comes his daughter Rachel with the sheep. Perfect timing.
It really shows Jacob's character early on, doesn't it? He's quite assertive, just goes for it.
Definitely results-driven. You see that trait pop up again and again. It helps him, but it also causes issues later on.
So Rachel arrives. She's the shepherdess for her father's flock. And Jacob sees her.
And this is where things get intense instantly.
He doesn't wait. He just goes over, rolls that massive stone away by himself, and waters Laban's sheep.
Remember, that stone usually needed multiple people. So this is a huge gesture, a show of strength maybe, or something else.
It feels incredibly personal, more than just being helpful.
Absolutely. And right after that, the emotion just pours out. He kisses Rachel, and then he just weeps. Loudly.
Wow. Okay, so not your typical nice to meet you.
Not at all. It's raw.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder what's going through his mind right then. Is it just seeing family? Or is it love at first sight? Or relief after his journey?
Could be all of it.
Yeah.
Then he tells her who he is. I'm your father's relative, specifically Rebecca's son.
And her reaction. She runs straight off to tell her father, Laban.
So Laban hears his nephew, who he's probably never met, has just shown up dramatically at the well. How does he react? Is he wary?
You might expect some caution, but no. The text says Laban ran to meet Jacob. He embraced him, kissed him, brought him home.
A very warm welcome, then.
Extremely. He even says, surely thou art my bone and my flesh. A real affirmation of kinship.
So Jacob stays with him. For about a month, it says. Seems like a nice family reunion.
It starts that way. But then Laban shifts gears. He brings up the practical side.
Okay. Here comes the business angle.
Right. Laban basically says, look, just because you're family, should you work for me for nothing, tell me, what should your wages be?
Okay, so the dynamic changes. It's not just uncle and nephew anymore.
Exactly. It becomes an arrangement. And this sets the stage for everything that follows, especially concerning Laban's daughters.
Right, let's get to them. Laban has 2 daughters, Leah and Rachel.
And the text describes them quite differently. Leah is tender-eyed, while Rachel is beautiful and well-favored.
That's a very direct comparison. Doesn't leave much ambiguity about who is considered the looker.
No, it doesn't. And the text is equally direct about Jacob's feelings.
It says flat out, Jacob loved Rachel.
No question about his preference.
Yeah.
Which leads to his proposal to Laban.
And it's quite the proposal. He says, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter.
7 years? That's a significant commitment. Think about offering 7 years of your labor for someone.
It really underscores how strongly he felt. What did Laban think of this deal?
Laban agrees. He says something like, it's better I give her to you than to some other man. Stay with me.
So the deal is struck. 7 years of work for Rachel.
And here's a really telling line about Jacob's love. Those 7 years seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her.
That's powerful. It makes the long wait seem insignificant because his focus was entirely on Rachel. You really feel the depth of his emotion there.
It really sets up the stakes for what happens next.
Yeah.
Because he's waited, he's served, he's fulfilled his part of the bargain.
So the 7 years pass. Jacob goes to Laban and says, basically, okay, time's up. Give me my wife.
His days are fulfilled, as the text puts it. He's ready.
And Laban's response, he throws a big party, gathers everyone, makes a feast. Looks like a proper wedding celebration is happening.
It seems that way. Public, communal, celebratory, everything appears to be going according to plan.
But it's not. Here comes the twist, the deception.
This is the moment. In the evening, under the cover of darkness, Laban takes Leah, his older daughter,
And brings her to Jacob instead of Rachel, and Jacob, presumably thinking it's Rachel, goes in with her.
It's a shocking bait and switch. The text also adds a detail. Laban gives a handmaid, Zilpah, to Leah. Part of the dowry, or custom, perhaps.
So, fast forward to the morning, the big reveal.
Jacob wakes up, looks, and behold, it was Leah.
Imagine that moment. 7 years of work, the anticipation, the love, all directed at Rachel, and he finds Leah.
His reaction is exactly what you'd expect. Anger. Betrayal.
He goes straight to Laban. What have you done to me? Didn't I serve you for Rachel? Why did you trick me, beguile me?
It's pure outrage. And Laban's defense.
Well, this is interesting. He doesn't exactly apologize. He appeals to custom.
Right. He says, it must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn.
So it's not our way here, a cultural rule, but it feels convenient, doesn't it?
Very convenient. Was Jacob unaware of this custom? Or did Laban just exploit it? It raises questions about power and maybe Laban's own motives.
Did Laban just want both daughters married off? Or secure Jacob's labor for longer?
It's hard to say for sure, but Laban definitely benefits because he then makes another offer.
An offer Jacob can hardly refuse, given his love for Rachel.
Exactly. Laban says, okay, finish the wedding week with Leah, fulfill her week, and then I'll give you Rachel too.
But there's a catch, of course.
Of course. The price is another 7 years of service.
14 years total for the woman he loved. It's staggering.
It really is. It shows how trapped Jacob was by the situation, by his love for Rachel, and perhaps by Laban's manipulation of custom.
And Jacob agrees. He fulfills Leah's week, marries Rachel, and Laban gives Rachel her handmaid, Bilhah.
And the text immediately adds a crucial point for the future family dynamic.
It says Jacob loved also Rachel more than Leah.
Yes. Even though he's now married to both sisters, his preference remains crystal clear, and he starts working those next 7 years.
So you have this setup. 2 wives, sisters, one clearly loved more than the other. That's a recipe for tension.
Deep tension. And this leads to another significant turn involving divine perception.
The text says, when the Lord saw that Leah was hated.
Which likely means less loved or disfavored here, rather than active hatred.
He opened her womb, but Rachel was barren.
Wow. So the less loved wife is fertile, the beloved wife cannot conceive. That adds a whole new layer of complexity and, frankly, pain to the situation.
It really taps into ancient ideas about fertility, favor, and a woman's status, a heartbreaking dynamic.
And Leah's experience becomes central for a while. She starts having children, and the names she gives them are incredibly revealing.
Her first son, Reuben, she names him, saying, surely the Lord has looked upon my affliction. Now, therefore, my husband will love me.
Just right there in the name. A hope, a desperate plea almost, that having a son will finally win her Jacob's love.
So painful. Then comes the second son, Simeon.
Named because, she says, the Lord hath heard that I was hated, unloved. He hath therefore given me this son also. Still focused on her lack of love from Jacob.
You can feel her longing. It's palpable. The third son, Levi.
Her hope shifts slightly. Now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Maybe now he'll feel bound to her. Connected.
Still seeking that connection through children. It's a recurring theme.
A really poignant one. But then comes the 4th son, Judah, and something changes.
What happens with Judah?
She names him Judah, saying, now will I praise the Lord.
Ah, so no mention of Jacob's love this time.
None. It's a shift. After pouring out her hopes for Jacob's affection through the first 3 names, with Judah, her focus seems to turn entirely towards gratitude to God.
That feels like a major turning point for her character. Acceptance. Or finding value outside of Jacob's affection.
It seems like it. Maybe finding peace or a different source of validation. And the text notes, after Judah, she left bearing for a time.
What a journey for Leah, from desperately seeking her husband's love to, it seems, finding a different focus.
Absolutely. It's a powerful arc within this larger family drama.
So, wrapping our heads around all this deep dive into Jacob, Rachel, and Leah, it really gives us a window into, well, love, tricky dealings, family tensions.
And all shaped by the customs of their time and this perceived layer of divine intervention.
There are so many aha moments here about just, human nature, how relationships worked back then, influenced by societal structures we barely recognize now.
But the core emotions, love, jealousy, longing, disappointment, hope, they feel incredibly familiar.
It makes you think. The lengths people went to, the sacrifices made, the impact of deception.
Definitely. And maybe something for you, the listener, to consider. Think about Leah and Rachel. Leah, unloved but fertile, finding her way through children, maybe eventually finding peace and praising God. Rachel, deeply loved but barren, facing a different kind of struggle.
Yeah, two very different paths within the same complicated family. What do their contrasting stories tell us about struggle itself? About fulfillment?
And maybe more broadly, what does this ancient story reveal about desire, about acceptance, and what family truly means, then and perhaps even now? Lots to chew on there.